This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, I'm Dr. Divya from TeenEinstein. We are in chapter 16, environmental issues. So we were learning about major issues which is related to environmental pollution and depletion of different natural resources which are very valuable, and in global level how the depletion is happening or how it is affecting the nature, and from local level how it is affecting. All these things we are learning. Then air pollution, we learned about the air pollution, which is a primary result of burning of fossil fuel, right? Then, for example, we can say that in industries and in automobiles, coal and petroleum, that burning. So that is creating pollution. And these are harmful to human, then plants, animals, and that's why we are saying that they should be or they must be removed. For what? For what purpose we are removing that? To keep our air very clean. Then what about water bodies? How it is getting polluted? Domestic sewage. That is the most common source of water pollution. Then that reduces dissolved oxygen, but that increases which one? Biochemical oxygen demand of receiving water. But we can say that this domestic sewage that is rich in nutrients, especially it is rich in phosphorus, nitrogen and all. So that causes eutrophication, and that may create algal blooms. So we know that like Eichhornia, that and all. Causing this algal bloom, which is a weed, and it is that blooming, it is taking place in which one? Highly polluted water. Then you know industrial wastage, that is also rich in which one? Toxic chemicals. The toxic chemical content that is more in industrial wastage. So especially heavy metals and organic compounds will be present in that. And this industrial wastage, that water is harmful for all living organisms, right? Then solid waste, municipal solid waste, that is also creating problem, and that also must be disposed of where? In landfills. Then we learned about radioactive waste, then e-waste. So these and all must be removed in proper way. Then soil pollution, from where? Agriculture chemicals, agrochemicals, that is creating soil pollution. Like for example, we can say pesticides and all. Then in this part, up to this we have learned, right? All environmental issues. Next, so here radioactive waste. We said about radioactive waste. So you know, first in earlier period we were thinking in such a way that It is a non-polluting way of generating electricity. Which one? This radioactive material, that is non-polluting way of electricity generation, right? But later we realized that the usage of this nuclear energy, that is creating serious issues. Got it? So first, when we realized, that is the accidental leakage which has occurred in one island. Then these radioactive waste that must be disposed in proper way, because that radiation which is given by this nuclear waste, it is extremely damaging this organism, right? Because that is creating this radioactive material, that is creating mutation. Mutation means the normal genetic level, it is getting changed. So due to that change, that may cause serious health issues. Then high nuclear radiation. High doses of this nuclear radiation, it is lethal, but at lower level, that is creating disorders. So disorders means we can't simply say that disorders, it is creating cancer. So these materials, radioactive materials, that is becoming a reason for cancer. So these nuclear wastes are actually, that is extremely potent pollutant. That is a very dangerous pollutant, and that has to be treated with utmost care, right? Because it is creating so many health issues like cancer and all, which is we cannot control. Nowadays, the treatments are there. Researches are going on, so they are developing new methods to treat. But just imagine the condition of the cancerous patient, how painful that condition is, or how difficult to face such a situation. So this radioactive chemicals must be disposed in proper way with utmost care. So for that storage of this nuclear waste, after pre-treatment, we need to give sufficient pre-treatment, then it should be stored in shielded containers, and that should be buried within rocks. That's how we should store. So about 500-meter depth, that container should be buried within rocks about 500-meter deep below the earth surface. So from earth surface, it should be 500-meter deep, and that container should be buried within the rocks. And that container should be made of shield, so that nuclear radiation will not affect much to other living organisms. Got it? So that's how we need to treat radioactive waste. So first, what we thought, it is a non-polluting way of generation of electricity. But later we realized, or we came to know, that it is creating so many serious issues. Then this radiation which is from this nuclear waste, it is damaging all organisms or the living cells. Because in living cell, it is creating mutation at very high rate. So high dose of this nuclear radiation is lethal, but in lower dose, it is causing serious health issues like cancer. Okay, so nuclear waste, it is a highly potent pollutant, and with utmost care, we need to treat that, or we need to discard that. So how to store this nuclear waste? We need to give pre-treatment, then it should be covered in shield containers and should be buried within the rocks about 500-meter deep below the earth surface. Then next one is greenhouse effect and global warming. What is greenhouse effect? What do you mean by the term greenhouse effect? See, greenhouse effect, that term came from the phenomenon that occurs in a greenhouse, the process that occurs in a greenhouse. So hope you have seen a greenhouse. This is how a greenhouse will be. So that it's like a small glass house, and this greenhouse mainly it is used for growing plants during winter season. For growing plants, this greenhouse is used. So in a greenhouse, the glass panel, here you can see glass panel, even plastic sheet, some special kind of plastic sheet also which is passing this light, that is also used for constructing greenhouse. So that glass panels that lets the light in. But another point is that does not allow heat to escape from there. So therefore, greenhouse that will be warm. Okay. So inside, how it is inside a car, like that. If you are parking a car in a parking in the sun for some hours, like 1 or 2 hours, if you are parking the car in the sun, how warm it will be, like that it will be inside greenhouse. The same effect will be there. So it won't allow the heat to escape. At the same time, it will let the light in. Got it? So the greenhouse effect, that is a natural phenomenon, and that is responsible for heating of Earth's surface and atmosphere. Got it? And the main thing which we need to understand from this greenhouse effect is, without this greenhouse effect, the average temperature of Earth's surface, that would have been nearly minus 18 degrees centigrade. Okay. See here, in this picture here, you can see greenhouse effect. What is that? I said it is a natural phenomenon, greenhouse effect. So here you can see clouds, then sun is there, greenhouse gases we have mentioned here. So this clouds and gases that reflects about 1/4 of the incoming solar radiation. At the same time, that will absorb some of the radiation, some of it, but almost half of that incoming solar radiation that falls on Earth's surface, and that will heat Earth's surface. But a small proportion of that radiation, that a small proportion is reflecting back. Got it? So from sun, radiation is coming. So that is creating these clouds and gases that will reflect about 1/4 of that incoming solar radiation. Okay. And absorb some of that radiation, but almost half of that incoming solar radiation that falls on Earth's surface, and that will get heated up. But a small proportion of that, say, that will reflect back. So this Earth's surface that re-emits what? It is getting heated up, right? So that Earth's surface, it is that re-emits that heat in the form of infrared radiation. Okay, which radiation? Infrared radiation. So Earth's surface re-emits heat in the form of infrared radiation. But here we can see that a part of this that does not escape, that can't escape to space because their atmospheric gases, which are all atmospheric gases you can say here, carbon dioxide, methane, all these atmospheric gases that will absorb major fraction of this. Okay, so the molecule of these gases that radiate heat energy. And again, a major part of this, again that comes to Earth's surface only. So that will get heated up once again. So like this, the same cycle is getting repeated many times. So the above mentioned these like gases which I mentioned here, carbon dioxide, methane, these mentioned gases carbon dioxide and methane, these are commonly called as greenhouse gases. Okay, greenhouse gases. First it is coming here and it is getting heated up and a small fraction of this, it is reflecting back. Again, the atmospheric gas is like which one? Carbon dioxide, methane and all that is absorbing. And these gases again it is getting heated up and it is coming back. Okay, again it is creating the same heating effect. Okay, so these gases, carbon dioxide and methane, these are called as greenhouse gases because they are mainly these gases are responsible for the greenhouse effect. So these are called as greenhouse gases. Noted here you can see greenhouse gases that will absorb that long wave. That means infrared radiation from the earth and emit it again towards earth only. Same towards earth, again it is getting emitted. So this cycle is continuing. Okay, so till the earth's surface has no long wave radiation to emit. Until that, this process is getting continued. Got it? So that cycle is getting repeated many times. And the carbon dioxide and methane, these gases are called as methane. Carbon dioxide and methane, these are called as greenhouse gases. So these are commonly called as greenhouse gases. And why it is called like that? They are responsible for the greenhouse effect. Mainly these gases, carbon dioxide and methane, these two are responsible for greenhouse effect. The next point is global warming. See, these greenhouse gases increases in this greenhouse gas level that has led to the heating of earth and that led to global warming. Okay. So during that past century, the temperature of Earth's temperature that has increased around 0.6 degrees centigrade. So scientists, they are believing that this rise in temperature that is leading to so many changes in the environment. The temperature rise that will create so many changes in the environment, and that may result in climatic change also. Okay, that may result in climatic changes. So it is we said it is resulting in climatic change. So what is happening here is that may melt the polar ice cap, and you know about Himalayan snow caps. So these temperature rise that may increase the melting of polar ice caps and Himalayan snow caps. So this will finally, if that melting will result in the rise in which one? Sea level. So the final result is that can submerge many coastal areas also. Got it? So this is a chain of effects. From first it is starting from where the greenhouse gases that will increase the, so if there is an increase in the level of greenhouse gases, that will lead to heating of earth, and finally it is resulting in the global warming. Okay, so global warming, scientists are saying this rise in temperature that will lead to serious environmental issues. Then that may melt polar ice caps and Himalayan snow caps. So if that is continuing means that may rise in the sea level, which can submerge many coastal areas. Okay, so there is a chain of effects. So how we can control this global warming? So we can cut down usage of fossil fuel, then reducing deforestation, then we can plant more trees, and human population we need to reduce. That's the main thing. If population is increasing, demand also will increase. Right? So first thing, main thing is to reduce the human population. Got it? Next point, that is ozone depletion in the stratosphere. So in previous classes and all, you might have learned about this ozone depletion. Ozone, that is in the lower atmosphere, that means in troposphere. See that lower atmosphere that is harmful to plants and animals, right? So there is a good ozone that is found in the upper part of the atmosphere, where stratosphere. This ozone layer in the stratosphere that is acting as a shield. So this shield of ozone, what it is doing, that is absorbing ultraviolet radiation from the sun, which is coming from the sun. That shield of ozone layer is absorbing those ultraviolet radiation. So these ultraviolet radiation, you know that it is injurious to living organism. Why we are saying that UV rays are injurious to living organism because DNA and protein of living organism that may absorb UV rays. So our DNA and protein of all living organism that absorbs UV rays. So the chemical bond within these molecules, that chemical bonding may change or that may break. Okay. Then how we can measure this thickness of this ozone in a column of air from ground to top of the atmosphere, that is measured in a unit, DU. What is DU? Dobson unit. Ozone, the thickness of ozone in a column of air from the ground to the top of the atmosphere, that is measured in the unit called Dobson unit, DU. Okay. The next point in ozone depletion, what we need to learn is see, there will be a balance, a kind of balance in the production level and in the degradation level of this ozone, where in the stratosphere. So this balance that has been disrupted by what? By the usage of or due to the enhancement of ozone degradation. By which one? By chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, and this chlorofluorocarbon that is used in refrigerators. So the CFC, after discharging in the lower part of atmosphere, that will move towards stratosphere. So in stratosphere, this chlorofluorocarbon that will show some continuing effect of ozone depletion. Okay, so this chlorofluorocarbon that is damaging the ozone layer. And this layer, it is, this ozone depletion, it is mainly marked over Antarctic region. Okay, so there is a formation of a large area of thinned ozone layer. Which region? In Antarctic region. That is called as ozone hole. Note this, ozone hole, note this point. So there is a formation of a large area of thinned ozone layer, which is called as ozone hole in Antarctic region. Okay. And here, this UV radiation, UV radiation of wavelength which is shorter than UVB. So that is almost completely absorbed by Earth's atmosphere. Okay, but this UVB that damages DNA and that may result in mutation also. So this may result in aging of skin, then damage to skin cells and that may cause skin cancer also, different types of skin cancer, then aging of skin, then skin cells may get damaged due to this UVB. In human eyes, you can see in human eyes, this cornea that will absorb this UVB radiation and high dose, or if absorption is more means that may damage cornea. That is called as snow blindness. Snow blindness, cataract and all, that is caused by this UVB radiation absorption. Got it? So that kind of absorption or that UVB exposure that may permanently damage cornea. Okay. The next is degradation by improper resource utilization and maintenance. If resource utilization is improper or the maintenance is improper, what is going to happen? So this degradation of these natural resources that may be due to improper resource utilization also. Okay. So first we are talking about soil erosion and desertification. See the top soil, that is, which is a fertile soil, that soil, for formation of that soil, it may take so many years. But due to human activities, that can be removed very easily. Which one? This fertile soil, which is used for agriculture practices and all, that can be removed very easily due to human activities. Like deforestation, then irrigation practices, which is in a very poor level. So that and all may result in the removal of this fertile soil. So due to all these practices, over time, desert is created. So now studies are going on based on this, and they recognize that this desertification, that is a major problem because of urbanization. Due to that, removal of this fertile soil, it is happening, and this fertile soil, if it is not there, means agriculture practices and everything will get reduced, right? Next, another issue is water logging and soil salinity. See, irrigation without proper drainage of water, that may create water logging in soil. So that also will affect the crops, right? And salt content, more salt will get deposited on earth crust, and this roots of plants that will collect the salt. So that increased salt content that may affect the growth of these crops, and that will damage the agriculture crops. So water logging and soil salinity. Due to these issues, In agriculture field also, farmers are facing issues. Okay, these are all general points just for getting an idea about this topic you can learn. Next, deforestation. Deforestation. What do you mean by deforestation? Conversion of this forest areas to non-forested areas. So, based on the estimate, almost 40% of forests that have been lost in the tropics. Okay. And how does this deforestation occur? That also mainly it is due to human activities. So one major reason is conversion of this forest to agricultural land. Because human population is growing, so to feed this growing human population, we need more crops. So they are converting the forest areas into agriculture lands. What are the consequences of this deforestation? Carbon dioxide level, carbon dioxide concentration that will get enhanced in the atmosphere. Why? Because trees are the ones which can hold this carbon dioxide. So when we are doing this deforestation, carbon dioxide level will increase, and that causes deforestation, that may cause biodiversity loss also, because through deforestation we are destructing the habitat of many organisms, right? And that disturbs hydrologic cycle, and that may create soil erosion, and it may result in the desertification of some areas. Okay, then next is, if you're talking about deforestation, definitely we need to talk about reforestation also. So how reforestation, or that is the process, this reforestation is the process of restoring a forest. And that forest which is once existed, and due to some human activities that got removed, then we are restoring that forest area, that is called as reforestation. And due to many reasons, maybe due to natural effects, one area got deforested, or due to human activities. So whatever maybe that area it is getting restored, means that is called as reforestation. Okay. In 1731 in India, Jodhpur king, he asked wood for what? For constructing a new palace. So for that purpose, they went to a forest. Then they cut down all trees. But there, one woman, Amrita Devi, she showed courage to stop this activity by hugging a tree. Okay. So the government of India, recently they instituted Amrita Devi Vaishnavi Wildlife Protection Award for individuals or the communities from rural areas. Women are showing extraordinary courage to protect this wildlife. Okay, so these are the main points in this chapter. So we learned about one second. In this chapter, we learned about air pollution and its control, water pollution and its control, then solid waste, agrochemicals and their effects, radioactive waste, greenhouse effect and global warming, then ozone depletion in the stratosphere, then degradation by improper resource utilization and maintenance, then deforestation. So in this, especially in all pollutions, the pollution and which are the pollutants there and how that pollutants are getting removed or what are the methods to avoid that pollution. In air pollution, water pollution and solid waste, water maybe in all these case studies will be there. That case studies also you should note down. Then radioactive waste, in that disposal of that, in all these waste, disposal of radioactive waste. Then what is greenhouse effect, which are all the greenhouse gases and what is that greenhouse effect, the process. Then ozone depletion, where mainly it is showing the depletion of that layer. Then how it is getting disturbed, this ozone layer. Then what is deforestation, what is reforestation. That's all these topics you need to cover in this chapter. So hope you got almost all the points from this. Please go through this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the next class. Thank you.